Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we live. And it was just a few days ago where I did a video taking a look at ESPN's best NFL players under the age of 25. Today's video, we're going to take a look at the website HoopsHype, ranking the top 25 players under 25. Let's get into it. As it mentions, so we decided, as we have done in other years, to rank the top 25 players under the age of 25 as voted on by a panel of our writers and editors, an exercise that surely won't ruffle any feathers. Below, check out the results. HoopsHype's top 25 players under 25 for the 2022-23 NBA season. So it's not, best in the future. Just for just this season. I'll name some guys that I think should have garnered some inclusion, that possibility to be included, consider them honorable mentions. But let's get into it. No surprise, heading the way, Luka Doncic with the Mavericks, triple-double threat every night, makes scoring 30 points seem easy. Would probably be the MVP favorite if the Mavericks weren't around 500 for much of the season. Number 2, Jason Tatum, who could be the MVP favorite. This is because the Boston Celtics easily have the best, well, not easily, but have the best record in the NBA. This is without Robert Williams III. This is with Ime Udoka being suspended for the season. Tatum kind of struggled in the NBA Finals, but he is off to the best start of his career thus far. Third, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. May surprise some people, but what a season he's putting up. And I was thinking of this the other day. Do you think the Clippers would do over that trade if they could? I mean, Paul George is great, don't get me wrong, but he's, 7, 8 years older than SGA. Never mind the first-round picks they gave up. I don't think the Clippers would have done the deal if they had the opportunity to redo it, if we could go back in time. But again, averaging over 30 points per game this year on over 50% shooting. So it may come to a surprise that he's ahead of Ja Morant. Maybe that's, only some recency bias there. Ja Morant's been awesome this year, though, so I'm a little surprised that SGA is ahead of Morant, especially since Morant helped guide the Grizzlies to the 2nd seed in the West just last season. One of the most explosive players in the NBA. 5th, we got Trae Young. Of course, Trae Young has that thing going on now where apparently he left the Hawks, did not want to play on Friday due to an argument with head coach Nate McMillan. We'll see where that leads. Hasn't really been necessarily effective shooting the ball this year. Not a high field goal percentage or three-point percentage, but still one of the dynamic playmakers. 6, Tyrese Halliburton, how far he has risen. What a season he's having for the surprising Indiana Pacers, leading the league in assists. 7th, Zion Williamson. Would you ever have expected Halliburton to be over Zion Williamson? I think maybe this is a little low, but again, with his injury history, maybe it's not. You also would want him to be a better rebounder, but shooting nearly 60% from the field, just impossible to stop on the offensive end. 8th, De'Aaron Fox, having the best season of his career thus far in the season, shooting at an all-time best. Fox is trying to end the Kings' lengthy playoff drought. 9th, Darius Garland, first-time All-Star last season. Garland, part of one of the best backcourts in the league, along with Donovan Mitchell. 10th, Anthony Edwards. Kind of got off to a slow start this season, but Edwards is stepping it up, and we'll have to step it up more while Karl Anthony Towns is injured. 11th, Tyrese Maxey, who is unfortunately injured, hasn't played in a while, but has become quite the secondary or third scorer for the Sixers, really overtaking Tobias Harris in that role when he plays. 12th, Desmond Bane. I would probably have Bane higher. Then Maxey. Bane was off to a great start this year, shooting lights out, averaging nearly 25 points a contest. Has missed the last few games due to injury. 13th, Paolo Banchero, one of just 2 rookies on this list. Off to a great start. Did miss some games due to injury. Again, Magic don't have much talent on the team, one of the worst teams in the NBA, but Banchero off to a great start. 14th, LaMelo Ball. You would have to think if they did this before the season, he would be higher, but he's only played in, 2 or 3 games due to ankle injuries. I would personally have him higher. First-time All-Star last year. And again, I'd probably have him in my top 10. 15th, Evan Mobley. Was Rookie of the Year favorite much of last season until he finished as the runner-up to Scotty Barnes, but a future possible Defensive Player of the Year later in his career. 16th, the Rookie of the Year, the reigning Rookie of the Year, Scotty Barnes. May not have quite made the sophomore jump that was expected. His shooting is down, his scoring is down, but again, still an excellent ball handler and playmaker and can score as well. 17th, Franz Wagner. Kind of surprised he's this high. Don't get me wrong. He is a very good player. But again, the Magic have not been a winning team. But the team is much better with Wagner on the court. 18th, Cade Cunningham. I'd probably have him over Franz. Although Cunningham has also missed a lot of time this season. Still hasn't shot relatively well to begin his NBA career in his second season. But averaging 19, 6, and 6 before getting hurt. 19th, Jarrett Allen, another first-time All-Star last season. Guy the Nets probably wish they did not get rid of. Jarrett Allen has become one of the better centers in the NBA. 20th, Tyler Hero, the reigning 6th man of the year, now has become a starter this year. Not shooting the ball particularly well to start the season. Heat have kind of struggled, but still a very good playmaker. Anthony Simons, again, thrust into a larger role with Damian Lillard once again being hurt. I think Simons maybe should be a little higher, although he's not a very good defensive player. 22nd, DeAndre Ayton, shooting over 60% from the field. Looked like the Suns were ready to move on from him. Instead, he signed an offer sheet with the Pacers. They matched. Not the greatest defensive player as well, but a very solid offensive rebounder. The only other rookie, along with Paolo, Benedict Mathurin of the Pacers, was actually the Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month for October/November because Banchero missed time. Not sure I would have him on here if it was just for this season. I'll name, again, a bunch of honorable mentions at the end, guys I think maybe should have been on. Like, I don't know if I'd consider him better than Jordan Poole at the moment. I know if you look at Jordan Poole's differences between his stats as a starter or as a reserve this season, he's been much better as a starter, but this is still a guy who played a supremely large role on a championship team. And last guy I probably would not have had on here, Keldon Johnson of the San Antonio Spurs. Yes, he's averaging over 20 points per game, but the Spurs are arguably the worst team in the NBA. As you see, shooting a career low 40.4% from the field. I probably wouldn't have had him on the top 25, but a few guys I'd like to mention that were not included. This guy I could understand. R.J. Barrett, he's just been inefficient this season. Kind of was inefficient last season as well. Still hoping he pans out to, be a all-star type level player. Haven't seen it yet. Josh Giddey, just 20 years old. Josh Giddey's a triple-double threat nightly. Not the best outside shooter, but him and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander are 2 exciting pieces. Jalen Green, another guy who doesn't necessarily shoot the ball efficiently, but doesn't have much help around him with the Rockets. could be one of the game's top scorers within a few years. Michael Porter Jr. missed much of last season with his back injury. 24 years old. Missed time this season as well. I think he's better than Keldon Johnson. And how is Jaren Jackson Jr. not on here? 23 years old. I'm pretty sure every GM would trade Keldon Johnson if they could get Jaren Jackson Jr. back in return. One of the game's best defensive players and a very good offensive player as well. I'm very surprised Jaren Jackson Jr. wasn't on here. I'd probably consider him my biggest snub that did not make it. But what did you guys think about this list? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Did I not mention any other guys under the age of 25 who you think should have been in consideration? Let me know in the comments. But don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.